keep it direct in the flesh. Alright, what are you? When you niggas be talking, saying my name. Seems like your mouth is not connected to your brain. 003 and shit, it ain't the same. Better have a strap, my niggas simple and plain. Put your nuts on the table, my nigga, let's play the game. Took you so long, you be out to get the pain. I don't wanna hear what you meant, you gotta explain. Right before you lay in your coffin, don't say my name.
I never really smashed on Jermaine's ass, straight smashed him. Nobody came up till he came back and jacked him. I never really brought it to his ass, I tapped him. I could have been like Tretch, Poop Pat, and slapped him purple for mimicking him with two rapping Urkels. I could have snapped, took it past rap and hurt you, but I didn't. I kept it on wax and served you. I swear it is, cause I'm sick of rapping circles around these clowns, steady trying to call me out. It's like I'm listening to motherfucking dogs me out. You probably do better trying to come and stomp me out. You don't want it with rap, this is what I'm all about. Come on, no gangster, you ain't neither. But I know that I spit ether. I should've crossed your belly, but I'll show you I'm not R. Kelly. Pass me the weed, I'ma put my ashes out on his ass for the last time, man.
Watch your fucking mouth. When you niggas be talking, saying my name. Seems like your mouth is not connected to your brain. 2003 and shit, it ain't the same. Better have a strap, my nigga, simple and plain. Put your nuts on the table, my nigga, let's play the game. Took you so long, you be up to get the pain. I don't wanna hear what you meant, do not explain. Right before you lay in your coffin, don't say my name.
It's the last time, man. I'm through.
Well, it must be close to the Armageddon, Lord. No, then I won't stop by that lesson. You taught me, look what I'm out westing. You brought me, and I'm out stressing and softly. Get him up off me, cause always one of us hard and been bombing. If you're bad, I'm ghetto, I won't settle. Get on my level, they can't stop me and pop me, nigga. They got me fucked up. Then the pockets get so ready, get ready, get damage, die out. Look about to make it, I'm really wanting to fun, and I wanted enough jump. I gotta set a beat, and I'm gonna go down. So take the jump, well, yes, they're more of a pro, and they get the dog for the murder. I'm a whore, I want to do this all balls on the calls, and I make a pulling out a little nigga with my fucking niggas is out. All your floor, cause he get the bitch in the test, and bless the floor, and then he gets to arrest me, stress and all. Looking at death with the last of my breath, while I find out my kids, but don't see me myself. Guess I'm never just scared, it's the best of my secrets. Even the leaves of a low nigga, believe it, I can see it and need it, and if you really believe it, wouldn't let it be, get the reason we running the motherfucker. It's poppin', nigga. Motherfucking hands on your strap, nigga. Yeah, we can do this like gangsters and slug it out. We can do this like punks and punkin' it. Pull your strap on me, nigga, you better kill. Thug life, baby. I probably get punished for hard living. Blind to the facts, thugs is convicts in God's prison. Hands on the strap, praying so Father, please forgive me. Police be rushing when they see me, I flaunt it. America's most wanted, live on TV like pleasure and pain. Stuck in this game, holler my name. All gon' die, we bleed through similar veins. Please explain to me now, don't panic when my guns burst. Heard the last jam, nigga, this one's worse. My nigga Bone held the chrome till I came home. Thug love player, tell these bitch niggas bring it home. I caught a plane out to Cleveland late last evening to help my niggas clean up some niggas no longer breathing there. Who do you believe in? Hit the weed and breathe. It's a cold ass world, niggas. Kill you in your sleep. Watch me until they stop me, bury, murder me or drop me. I got thug love for my nation while I bust it through.
The land nigga never rain. Motherfuckers out to give me, they don't understand. It's the number one nigga right with an nation. The niggas gotta put in some work. Niggas is dirt fucking around with a band ball. Good. In harmony, follow down the road, we stroll to meet karma. Everything I do will seem to go wrong. We're ready for the war like a night in my armor. Bomb ya. So quick to test this nigga wanna press me, eat dust. For the love of the love, niggas bustin' on us. Hit him up with the bus, 12 gauge, runs. I'm on the wall. Put the niggas on the floor when I'm coming through the door. Bringing nothing but a terror. Cause I must thank to the nigga that did. Try to put a twist in the dust to air, but get up. With a nigga like Rock and a nigga like me gotta stay high. Good love to the die, keep a breath to the sky. But it's still in the hood, smoke we fry. So I beg the Lord to save us all. Escape us of misery. Bless my niggas in penitentiary. Soldiers of the century.
Yeah, they give it to my niggas, they get down, down with the dirty, and we don't fuck around. Brother coming around, and niggas that's who they get around. And don't get caught up in the crossfire. Niggas, artillery dick, you don't wanna get the fucking with this. So straight devil, like the fucking with this. I really know, fucking little mo. Niggas think for the fuck won't even know. So we listen for. They don't know, I'm motherfucking with another face. Hey, man, she said I ran this way, said I ran that way. Yo, I never know because I got away. I'm criminal mind, to keep a nigga on the level. Sometimes I get high and analyze your crime correctly. organized. With the results you'll be surprised. Nigga, can you feel the vibe with the rap? They hate niggas, you got to die. It's only rapper with bone, better leave it alone. More thugs gon' crack they fucking dogs. Still in the hood with a thug blade. Fucking with nothing but thugs, man. Ain't taking no shows and no losses, we cracking them down around my way. Give it to him on another level, nigga, get it something you can dig a whole bitch, it's his day. If a rage, you can hit, you can beg, you can play, but still gon' be bloody red. Fuck around that we seen in the moonlight, we outright for you. Better run for cover, nigga, dub. We bout to go straight, got the infrared, put it on his forehead, make some moves. It's hours, we home. Put a thought in the motherfucker, send him to his mama, tell her he was dead wrong, wrong. Now we wrong.
Now let's fast forward. You, of course, you were arrested in 1982. For those who might not know, like let's just say somebody watching, they're not from Baltimore, they don't know who the hell Maurice Peanut King is, and they haven't done the research of Googling you. You were actually charged with what in '82? What did they charge you when they arrested you?
Handgun violation, conspiracy, continual criminal enterprise, distribution, attempt distribution, and a couple of drug sales.
Right. And they sentenced you to how many years in prison?
50 years no parole and 45 years with parole.
And you did 37 of those 45 years.
No, when I was in prison for the first 7 years, I caught another case and I got 30 more years.
Jeez.
So I actually done my 50 years in 2013. I was finished. Gotcha. But after that, I had to close out another sentence, which lasted 2 to 37 years.
What was prison like? Being Peanut King, who's super respected and feared in Baltimore because of the rep that yourself and the people you roll with. What was prison like when you first went in versus after you were there for some years?
First going in, it's like the first year going into prison, you still connected to the streets and you think that things going to be okay and you stay connected. After 3 years, you start to lose grip or relationships with people that you thought might have been key. After 7 years, you seem like at that point you understand that a lot of things that happened was your fault. Because you had a decision and you got to take 100% responsibility for the choices that you make. So you start looking at it from a more realistic perspective at 7 years.
At any given point, when I look at some of these new age drug dealers, rappers, gangsters, because nowadays it's almost like you put them all in one category. The new thing is everybody snitching. Everybody snitch. They try to, get time served if they tell. In your generation coming up, was snitching ever acceptable?
I would say in that era, it would be 90% men and maybe 10% of the people would work with the government or something like that.
Informants. Why do you think right now it's so acceptable for these guys who are turning informants and now they back out on the streets like they're the king? When did that become acceptable, you think?
I don't know. I guess now you're dealing with morals and values again. Right. So I guess when I went in, it was looked at one way. When it gets to the 80s and the 90s, things seemed to shift. I was a little out of it, right. Because of my situation in prison. But things start to shift in terms of cities across the country. Right. And I think the main reason why things happened was the change of the guidelines. It was non-parolable. You had to do 85% of your sentence. Right. So, and that was a fact.
Once again, being Peanut King in prison for all those years, what do you think the main thing you learned while being in prison?
Well, prison really, even though I was in prison, I found freedom in prison. I was free way before I got out. And one of the things I learned that most of the things I want, I could do it another way. Right. From a positive perspective, and you didn't have to sell drugs, but it's based on what you know. If that's all you know, you do the best you can. You
said you felt like you were free before you were free. Explain that. What do you mean by you were free before you were actually
once
free?
You get information and you understand where you're at, who you are, and what's around you, how the system works, you can really free yourself from a lot of things. so you have a way better understanding of it.
Got you. Looking back at what you know now versus what you knew in the 60s or 70s when you became a drug dealer, then end up being Peanut King, was it all worth it?
Yes, it was. I mean, without the past, I couldn't be the present. You mean, it's something that I had to evolve into, and it ain't nothing that I'm proud of. There's a lot of scars. I mean, I carry a lot of scars, but it's something that I had to do. I mean, I walked the walk.
Hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. This goes out to the beautiful girls. Which one of y'all? Hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. Which one of y'all? Which one of y'all go home with Trigger? Double shout it. Pass a nigga looking at me all naughty. Then I said, baby, what's up? Reach for the handshake, got a hug. Bottles of the ace got me with a little buzz. Up in VIP with all of my thug niggas. You leaned over and said you want me. Girl, when the valet pull the biz up, off to the crib, try to where we gon' end up. Girl, sit back, relax, hold up, let me turn the radio on. Get you to the crib, upstairs to the bed. Girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think. Girl, when I pull back them sheets and you climb on top of me. Girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think, girl, you gon' think I invented sex. You gon' think I invented sex. You gon' think I invented sex. Put the code in the gate, pull up to the driveway. Said she like the way I touch her, listening to Usher. I got a confession, know we bout to sin, but your body is a blessing. Girl, can we take it upstairs? My bed's waiting there. All I wanna do is give you all of me, won't you give me all of you? I want your body right now. You know I live a magnum lifestyle. Baby, turn the lights down. I'ma turn you on when I get you to the crib. Upstairs to the bed. Upstairs to the bed. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. When I pull back them sheets, take the covers off, you climb on top of me. I love it all. Girl, you gon' think. You gon'. Girl, you gon' think. You gon'. Girl, you gon' think. You gon'. Girl, you gon' think. You gon' think I invented sex. You gon' think I invented sex. Cause I do it like I did.
Well, alright. Where'd you find this?
It's a celebration. Clap, clap, bravo. Lobster and shrimp and a glass of Moscato for the girl who's a student and a friend who's a model. Finish the whole bottle and we gon' do it big like this. Yeah, and he was just practice. He ain't in your world, you could take him off your atlas. Girl, you're on fire, can I be the one you match with? I give you the credit card, baby, you can max this. Ow, show me where your tats is, show me where your hair's at. Maybe I could grasp it. If you ever come up with a question, you should ask it. Caught up on your ex still, I could get you past it. Yeah, and your friends all suggest, what's the chance of this nigga being better than the rest? Just tell him you appreciate the help, but you just gotta know for
Where'd you find this?
Upstairs to the bed. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, when I pull back them sheets and you climb on top of me. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. Girl, you gon' think. You gon' think I invented sex. You gon' think I invented sex. You gon' think I invented sex.
Hey you, what you doing? Looking kinda stuck. I know it's really late, but could you come and pick me up?